Natural Niche, the alternative guy and gal.
Before Christianity, there was Judaism. When Judaism was created, the pyramids was 1,600 years old. And when Judaism was created, there were people, like I sent you some maps, I don't know, but anyway, if you look at Egypt, at the uppermost part of Egypt, and follow the Mediterranean Sea over to the right, to the northwest, you're going to run into Israel, Lebanon, Bethlehem, Canaan, all of those places. Those places are called the Levant area. Those were black people in ancient times too. They were Africans. As a matter of fact, in Lebanon, in that area, that's where they sourced their timber to build their ships, because they have an abundance of cedar wood in Lebanon. And that's also where they got their papyrus from to make their paper. So that area was an outpost of ancient Egypt. And in history, the people in that area were experiencing a famine in about 1000 BC. And so the Egyptians allowed the people from that area, which were their brothers and sisters at the time, allowed them to come and live in Egypt. And they stayed in the northernmost part of Egypt. And their numbers became so strong that they ended up controlling the northern part of Egypt. And so when they came into Egypt, those are the people that we now call Jews. And so what happened is the people from that area, Lebanon, Israel, all of that area, they came to Egypt, and while they were living in Egypt, the spiritual system that was created in Kemet rubbed off on them. And out of that, they created Judaism. So they took the Kemetic spiritual system and created their own religion and called it Judaism. And if you look at the name of some of the pharaohs, Tutmosis, Ramoses, all of a sudden you got Moses. All of that is Kemetic knowledge. And all of these principles are, the Egyptians understood the energies of the universe. When you look at gravity and light and all of that kind of stuff, frequency, they may not have known about electromagnetic energy, but they used it. You know what I'm saying? So what they did was they personified these energies. And when you go to Egypt, you see animal heads with human bodies. They didn't worship those things. Those things was a way to identify those energies. So when you're talking about Haru represent the energy of the sun. He was represented as a falcon. So they put a falcon on a man's head because of the abilities that a falcon has. A falcon is the fastest bird in the world. It's the fastest animal on earth. When there's a storm, the falcon flies above the clouds. So he could do things that were almost supernatural, and they recognized that. So they made the falcon symbolic of the sun. And so when Europeans came to Africa, they didn't understand these concepts. You know what I'm saying? So what they did was they said, okay, we're going to create our own personifications. And so when you look at Christianity, the sun is representative. Jesus is personification of the sun. I'm just going to make it straight. And a lot of Christians going to be like, he's crazy. It's facts. Whenever you go to church and look up on, you know how they got them colored windows and they got a Jesus Christ, you always see a sun or a halo behind his head. It's the sun. The 12 disciples are the 12 constellations that the sun go through every year.
Right.
So they personified the constellations. And if you notice in the New Testament, all of the disciples have European names. Mark, Luke, Paul, John, Timothy, Matthew, whatever. Why is it that? It's because they were the ones that created Christianity. Right. So if I'm going to create a religion, I got to make them look like me. So they painted everything white and gave everything European names. When you go back to Judaism, they had more African names, but even they copied and plagiarized from the spiritual system.
Thank you for joining us for part 6 of his story Debunked with Timothy Garnes and the Alternative Guy. If you enjoyed this discussion, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more thought-provoking content. Click on the logo in the center to subscribe and stay updated with our latest uploads.